We often get asked at MBR, what's the one thing to always carry in your pack? And the simple answer is this: the zip tie. This one little piece of plastic has so many uses. So here's our top 10 uses for a zip tie. Number 1, using it as a sag meter for your forks or your shock. So forks and shocks normally come with a little rubber O-ring, but this can easily be lost. You can use a zip tie as a simple replacement. The important thing to remember though is to take it off when you finish adjusting your suspension to avoid damaging the seals. A little trick is to put the zip tie on backwards. This allows you to remove it super quick and to keep reusing the same zip tie. It also helps avoid having to make a cut close to delicate stanchions. If you don't have a wheel trim jig, then you can use a couple of zip ties to help you get your wheel straight. Either fix the zip tie to your seat stay and align the long end with the wheel rim, or you can use 2 zip ties to attach a pen lid, or any other pointy object to make a much more accurate gauge. No, we're not talking about harassing aquatic mammals. Sometimes your forks can draw a little bit of air into the upper chamber underneath the seals. This can have a big impact on its small bump performance. To get rid of that air, simply move the coil spring from the seal, dip the end of a small zip tie in some fork lube, and then stick it in between the seal and the stanchion. If there's any unwanted air, you should then hear a lovely release of pressure. Wherever there's the possibility of a bolt breaking, a zip tie can come to the rescue. Missing chainring bolts? No problem. Broken crank bolt? Easy. Smash your brake lever into a tree? Sorted. It seems that everyone wants to stick everything onto their bike these days. Of course zip ties will do this. It's what they were born to do. Action cameras, lights, inner tubes, clothing, and even your packed lunch can all go on with a zip tie. If you're just popping into the shop or pub at the end of a ride, if you don't want to carry a heavy lock with you, then a zip tie will work to prevent somebody from just running off with your pride and joy. Or you could use the super neat Z-Lock from Hip Lock. It's like a zip tie on steroids, and it's reusable. Well, not quite fixing, but a zip tie could help you out of a bind if your rear derailleur cable breaks out on the trail. Simply thread a small zip tie through the barrel adjuster of the rear derailleur, push the derailleur to a gear that you'll be happy spinning for the rest of the ride, and clamp it in place. Job done. You can use them for making your grips grippy again. The dreaded motor grip has almost been killed off by lock-ons, but if you're still running normal grips like this, then you can cure that twisty, slidey grip that can happen in the wet just by using 1 or 2 zip ties. Just put them in place either side of the grip, tighten them up, snip them to size, and voila! Of course a zip tie can fix a puncture. It's the most useful thing in the world. Simply find the hole in your tube and block off that piece by clamping it shut with a zip tie. If it's too big, then use 2, 1 either side. Laces snap, buckles break. But without your shoes, it's pretty difficult to carry on riding. Simply use a zip tie as a replacement for a buckle or a lace, or if things are really desperate, then wrap the whole thing in big zip ties. Just make sure you let the blood get to your toes though. You can use a zip tie to make a mudguard. Hey, I know we said 10, but this is too good not to include. Just let your imagination go wild. The good thing with these mudguards is they just spring out the way. So there you have it. 10 or 11 simple ideas that you can use a zip tie for to help you with your riding. If you've got any ideas or any other hacks that you like to use that you'd like to see us do on MBR, then let us know in the comments below.